Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, this is the Morning Sports Desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner, Corey Tackman to my right, and then below him is shirtless Zeke again.
Flex on him, son.
Flex on him.
There's nothing there. I'm going to move this up. I'm sorry.
And then Tyler Grunewald, who is next to Zeke on the box. And
we're just Sports Cow podcast, find out on Sports Cow. I didn't expect us to get the udders out of the way too. I'm sorry, Zeke.
No, I deserve that. I have no one to blame but myself.
This was
for what's happening here.
Decision, by the way, I hit the button to start the title card, and then all of a sudden it comes back, and Zeke's got the sweatshirt off. So,
surprise!
I like it. It adds a little bit. You never know what you're going to happens when you partake in the Morning Sports Desk.
We're going to have 0 YouTube viewers today, by the way. The retention time is going to be garbage today.
You should have seen what it was like right before we hit record and you had to sit down. That was the worst.
You did not drop your headphones on purpose, did you, Zeke?
Maybe.
This is why you got to watch the show on YouTube so you can see us in what we call the quad box, like we're YouTube TV and a college football Saturday, or the Brady Bunch screen, whichever you prefer. It kind of tells how old you are depending on which one you resonate more with,
I think I'm excited for this, for the quad box, because it's going to give everybody an opportunity to go a little back and forth, a little Morning Sports Cow tit for tat situation today.
How often did you plan that?
Brand that.
We got to
get a sponsor on the Sports Cow tit for tat segment. Sponsored by Lookers and Carlos.
We're gonna go for 90 minutes and not talk about a single thing today, aren't we?
Except tits for tat.
Well, you see, when we pre-record, which we do here, the pre-recording only lets you get to 60 minutes, and then it kicks you out rightfully.
Probably better.
So we got some time.
Talking enough. Be done.
We got to fly here.
We got some time. Yeah.
All right. Well, the reason we brought in Tyler and now fully clothed Zeke onto the program, there's a huge football game tomorrow, huge enough that Zeke might actually be in the press box shirtless, waving the old shirt up and down. Tyler Grunewald, before we get into that and the big game between Staples-Motley and Holdingford, we had to talk about Staples-Motley, Wadena-Deer Creek. Obviously the Wolverines and the Cardinals meet up. The Cardinals take care of business, but anything particular stand out, or was it just a first-round playoff game, high seed, low seed, kind of the way of the world?
A little bit of that, but what really stood out on this Cardinals side of things for me was only one penalty accepted all game for Wadena-Deer Creek. And when I look back and think about it, it was a 4th down and 1 penalty, and it was an illegal touching by a lineman that shouldn't have been really called in the first place because Wadena took the ball, and then they still got the penalty yardage. So really thinking that it should have been 0 penalties on Staples-Motley for the game. So that was a huge thing for the Cardinals to really not have any of those boneheaded mistakes, and something that you really need to focus on going into Holdingford on Saturday. But when you open up the game with a kickoff return by your freshman stud kick returner, Nyson, and then 3 and out by Wadena-Deer Creek, and Colby Tapia returns a punt return, and then another 3 and out, you get the ball and you drive down the field in 3 plays. You're up before you know it, it's 24-0, and Staples-Motley's only run 3 offensive plays, and you kind of could see the rating on the wall from there. But a lot of throwing the ball by Staples-Motley, trying to shore up that pass game and to get Eli Rutten really fresh and ready to go come tomorrow afternoon's game, and I think he looked pretty fresh and pretty on point. He might have had a couple of out of pocket throws where he's under pressure and kind of throw behind his receivers, but he looked pretty good. But there wasn't really much of a running game. Staples-Motley kind of kept their cards tight to their chest and didn't really show anything in terms of the running game, nothing flashy, just kind of the typical Staples-Motley Cardinals, run up the middle, give it to Bierga, give it to Tappy, and then do some jet sweeps outside with Turner Beachy and Bo Carlson, which were very few and far between. Staples-Motley didn't even run the football in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's a small gamesmanship thing too, right? There's 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts that night, and game tape exchange isn't quite what it used to be because you can find everybody's games for all season long. But it is in a game like that where you can put up a lot of air yards, a lot of pass opportunities, and just throw the scent off maybe of what you're going to do when you've got the most well-rounded opponent you're gonna play all season long in the Holdingford Huskers. What have you seen with Holdingford, Tyler? What have the conversations been like with Coach Potter? What are the Huskers bringing to the table? It's a different task.
He's not moving around.
Sorry, the lights went out in the room I'm at. So.
Take your shirt off.
Take your vest
I
off.
should wave my shirt around. Yeah.
Wouldn't have happened if I was there.
What's the game plan? What do they look like here as we get ready for tomorrow night's game?
I think what you got to do is just take care of your execution, alignment, and assignment, and make sure you're not making any errors. You play as a team. You focus on trying to stop that middle up front rush. Something that every team against Staples-Motley has had success with is running right up the middle, making sure that defensive front is ready to go, and also get ready for their quarterback, because Holdingford's quarterback he's talented. He's going to be a playmaker. He's going to be an X factor. I can't say whether he will be the reason they win or lose the game, but he's definitely going to be a big person to watch in terms of how this game is played by both sides of the ball. And Holdingford doesn't give up a lot of points on defense. They're very strong defensively. I think only 2 games they've given up more than 1 score in a game. They haven't given up a point in about 4 games. Granted, some of the teams that they're facing might not have been the highest caliber talent, but give them all the credit in the world, because usually in those games you have JV playing at the end, and you still have to have a strong JV squad and backups to maintain those shutouts. So Holdingford's going to be deep. They're going to have a lot of playmakers, but that quarterback position is definitely something you have to watch if you're Staples-Motley, and definitely someone you have to try and contain, because you're not going to be able to stop.
Yeah, they've got athletes all over the place, much like the Staples-Motley team. I got to cover them actually a few weeks ago when I was helping out our sister stations in Alexandria. They've got 5 guys on the field who are going to play college football next year and can get up and down the field. They're all athletes. Zeke, from your perspective here, is this, Tyler's talked about penalties quite a bit. What's kind of, besides the penalties, is there something else that stands out against an opponent here, like we've talked about, is going to be probably the most well-rounded team Staples-Motley has seen this year?
Yeah, I think the big key for Staples-Motley is to get points on the board quick and make Holdingford play catch up. And we saw it in the Pillager game when Staples doesn't have the ball, it's they're not going to score points. I mean, you take away the kick return and the punt return against Wadena last Tuesday, but you saw Pillager have the ball and just grind and grind and grind. Staples ran 3, maybe 4 offensive plays in the third quarter, and it kind of took the wind out of their sails. And I think that was the big thing that Coach Potter wanted to do against Wadena, was to get Eli Rutten in the pocket, get him throwing, get his confidence built up, get him comfortable slinging that football around. And yeah, the 40-mile-an-hour winds didn't exactly help anything. Staples had the ball first and goal from the 1, threw it 4 times and couldn't get it in the end zone. That was a little bit concerning, but you play some factor into the win. They completed one of the passes, was no gain to Turner Beachy, just missed the pylon. But that's what they need to do. We know what the running game is going to do. We saw a 51-yard touchdown from Colby Tappy. We saw Luke Beer get in the end zone. We saw Cooper Tappy get in the end zone. Both of the Tappy boys had a rushing touchdown in the game against Wadena. But if Staples is going to compete with this Holdingford team, they got to get the passing game going. It's going to be crucial.
Yeah, a lot of things to think about in this game. Basically, with that, and by the way, I want to remind everybody, it's a 1:40 pregame, 2 o'clock kickoff on 98.5 FM and AM1430 KNSP, the Fan from Holdingford. And this is kind of the day, right, guys? Like, this is the second round of the Section Football Playoffs. And in the Section 6AA, not only is this going to be a great football game, on the other end of the bracket, you have the 1-seeded Pillager and the 4-seeded Osaka Silver Streaks. It's the second year in a row those two teams have met in the second round in Pillager. Osaka's got the better of the Huskies last year. Everybody talks about Holdingford, Staples-Motley, Pillager. Not a lot of people have talked about the Silver Streaks, and that's a program, and that's a group of players that, if you're not ready for them, can also punch you in the mouth and surprise you a little bit. What are you guys looking forward to in this second round Saturday in 6AA?
I think there's going to be physical football by both games. All four teams are going to have some physical football. They're going to really strap on the chin straps, get the helmet pads strapped on, and there's going to be a lot of loud noises when those pads are hitting this Saturday on both sides, in Pillager and in Holdingford. Pillager's got such a physical football team, and they're gonna follow the big man Earl, and why wouldn't you? And Osaka's, I don't know a lot about them, but if you've only lost one game and it was probably the best team in the state who Staples-Motley has to go up against on Saturday, I think you're doing pretty good as well. And I know some of the kids on that squad, they're usually very physical up front, big, beefy linemen, very physical team. So I just expect a lot of physicality this Saturday from all four teams.
I was texting some buddies the other day. They're asking what the odds are that Staples-Motley gets back to US Bank Stadium. And it felt weird to say it like this, but I think once the section tournament is over, it's going to get potentially easier for the Cardinals, because you've got Pillager and you've got Holdingford 1 and 2, 2 and 3, depending on where you want to put Jackson County Central in there. And then Staples-Motley is 7, and you got Moose Lake Willow River, who's only ranked 5. They're a contender. Chatfield is back in the conversation again this year. The Aiken Gobblers top. But you look at the top of that section and how tough it's going to be to even get to state. It may be like a breath of fresh air once you finally get to the state quarterfinals, which is weird. It just shows how good Section 6-2A is this year.
Yeah, the most updated QRF right now has the 4 teams remaining in 6AA ranked 1, 2, 5, and 6. Bar none, the best section in the state of Minnesota this year.
It's insane. All right, Tyler, and final thought.
Fun to watch. That's for sure.
A lot of fun to watch. Go ahead, Tyler.
It's been a lot of fun. Sorry, go ahead. I'll go now. It's been a lot of fun to watch. I'm just looking forward to tomorrow. I really think it's anybody's game. You have to execute what your is, making sure that you're not making any boneheaded penalties. Don't hurt yourself. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Make the plays that you know that you can make. And Holdingford's not going to lay down, so you have to earn everything that you want to go get if you're Staples-Motley, and they're going to be ready to play. I know that for sure. They're not a lot of injuries to worry about. A little bit banged up for a couple players, but I expect to see everybody on the field for Staples-Motley on tomorrow afternoon.
That's Tyler Grunewald, Staples-Motley play-by-play voice, joining us on the morning sports desk. 1:40 pregame, 2 o'clock kickoff tomorrow on 98.5 FM and AM1430 KNSP The Fan. Tyler, we'll let you get back to work. Thanks for hopping on and spending some time with us today.
Yeah, I better go before they shut the lights off on me again. See you guys.
See ya. There's Tyler Grunewald, Staples-Motley play-by-play voice, joining us here on the morning sports desk. And with that, we lose the quad box. So,
man,
just the try box, which doesn't sound as fun.
Where'd you go?
Zeke's demuted himself.
He was trying.
I was taking my clothes off.
He didn't want to hear the rustling of the buttons.
No.
Yeah, now we can see more of Zeke on the screen. So, he felt like the time was right to go back to the shirt off.
I thought you were going to maybe change your name there for a second when CJ reintroduced you as fully clothed Zeke. That should be everybody's. We should all change our names. Fully clothed Corey, fully clothed Zeke, fully clothed CJ, and really, really confuse people on what the morning sports desk is.
Right. Exactly.
You miss one Facebook post. You have no idea what's going on.
No. Which, by the way, it started with us a couple weeks ago on the morning sports desk. Talking about
him. You'll go back and listen. He called me a coward for wanting to wear a jacket at a football game.
I think Corey called you a coward. I think Corey called you a coward.
Yeah.
I just brought it up.
Yeah. We're going to Brady Bunch him this way.
Go back and listen. Go back and listen to the tape.
The 10:25 mark last Thursday.
Glad to
or 2 Tuesdays ago, 2 weeks ago already. God, I don't know what day of the week it is.
Well, you can definitely tell it's a Friday because we're just kind of all over the place today with the show. Zeke, before we're going to have you talk about some section cross country stuff. Before we get into that, though, Corey needs to talk about the good folks at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Corey, what's up?
We're going to keep it really simple today. We're heading into the weekend. There's playoff volleyball tonight. There's playoff football tomorrow. There's state tournament tennis going on. There's more section cross country going on today. We've got the Timberwolves who are back in action. The Vikings are going. The World Series gets going here this weekend as well. We've got a lot. It is a perfect time for sports, and the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade is a perfect pregame spot for you. Check out the buffet, check out the chicken, check out the macaroni and cheese, the salad bar, the FunZone Arcade to keep your kids or yourself entertained, and it is the perfect spot to be for your pregame festivities. There you go. The stuffed crust pizza, my favorite pizza in the whole entire menu of the Pizza Ranch in Wadena. But it's that simple. You got a game you want to go to, or you're going to go to, or if you can't make it, you're going to listen. Well, take the family out, enjoy the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade, and then come on home. Go take out. You can take out orders. It's delicious. And maybe when you play, you can go get yourself a mystery signed jersey because you've won so many points.
Had a chance to talk with Zach at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena yesterday. I was picking up some to go to watch the Vikings game, and turns out eating Pizza Ranch was the only highlight of my night last night. And he couldn't believe that we pulled the big enigma yesterday or on Wednesday's show.
Wednesday, yeah.
Those Rockets jerseys are sweet.
So sweet. It's got the mesh. It's got the
colors are cool too. I like
it's perfect. Yellow. It's a great old school jersey. And he looked at me. He's like, "What are you going to do with it?" I'm like, "Corey might just take it home. Like, I don't quite know."
I got my Halloween costume now.
Yeah, he's Big E.
What is Corey for Halloween? I don't know. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
That's right.
He's a white guy with a podcast.
Yeah, all you need is a sweatshirt underneath that jersey, and then you need a microphone in front of you with some big blue jeans and some giant basketball sneakers, and then you need to kind of like kick your feet up on the chair, like cross it, and then you just kind of sit like this the whole time, and then you go like that, and you got to wear your beanie, and then you're a perfect white guy with a podcast energy.
Have some outrageous sports take. You're yelling.
There's so many TikTokers too who look just like that and go, "All right, let's break it down. The top 10 3-point shooters in Houston Rockets history, and go."
All right, let me tell you why Andre Iguodala. No. The Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. It's the place to go. I went there last night, and let me tell you, it's my lunch today. So it's sitting right behind me. I'm going to be eating it after we finish up with the morning sports desk today. Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Go check them out.
Don't you remember kindergarten? You can't bring enough to share with the whole class. Yeah. Don't bring anything at all.
Well, let me tell you, in about 10 minutes, I won't have anything at all. It'll be gone.
All right, I'll be right over.
All right. So let's take a look here at the cross-country section races. Zeke, there were a few of them yesterday. I know that there's still one section race that's happening today, but give us the whole landscape. I know you're giving updates on the Superstation K-106. I know you have updates online. What do we need to know?
Awesome day yesterday. A lot of fun for a lot of these programs. We'll starting in section 6-2A. Got to give props to the Wadena-Deer Creek Wolverines, sending not just the girls but the boys down to state. Both of them going. I mean, Wadena-Deer Creek hadn't beat Sauk Center all year, and we've talked a lot of times how they're runner-up and they're runner-up and they're runner-up. They've been runner-up 7 now, I think maybe 8 times. But Sauk Center was 3rd place yesterday, and in 1st place, a team that literally nobody was talking about to start the season, the Bertha-Hewitt Bears, who didn't even have enough dudes to have a full scoring team. They had 3 guys at the beginning of the year. They found 2. Oh, here's my cat.
Hello.
They got 2 phenomenal 8th graders in Rock and Lockwood, and they sneak in. They all finished top 24 yesterday. Bertha-Hewitt for the 4th straight year. The boys going to state. They're sending me at Hansel. Kendra Miller finished 4th, I think, yesterday too. So they're sending the boys team. They're sending 2 individual runners. yesterday. So Section 6A was just a blast for Bertha-Hewitt, for Wadena-Deer Creek. Barker's Prairie, third place, a strong showing yesterday. Staples-Motley putting together one of their best showings at a meet this season. They were in fourth place. They beat Minnewaska area. And Minnewaska, a team that a lot of people thought was going to run away with the section. A lot of people thought it was going to be New London Spicer, Minnewaska area. And Wadena-Deer Creek coming through in the clutch for the girls yesterday and snagging that second spot. I think it's their 8th overall trip to state, but the boys hadn't been there since 1993. They were there in 1989 when they were just Wadena. Then they co-opted and got back in 93. And now for the first time in 32 years, Wadena-Deer Creek boys cross country competing for a state title at the state championships.
It's insane. And I can't wait to talk with head coach Mike Brunsberg a little bit later today for the Wolverines Weekly podcast, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts, and 9 a.m. every Saturday morning on KWAD. Mike Brunsberg, he's going to be ecstatic. It's going to be fun to get to talk with him to recap this whole thing. And yeah, like as we talked about, they've been second place in every meet like all season long as a team for the boys, and they just couldn't quite get over the hump. And all you need to do is get second in the section meet, and they were able to do that and get going, obviously led by Grant Nelson, who didn't quite have the, maybe the conference race he wanted to have, but, he came out with a good performance and was able to help get his team over the hump. And obviously there's a couple other runners for Wadena-Deer Creek that were able to make it happen. And that girls team and that girls running program has just been there and in the thick of it every year for the last half decade now for Wadena-Deer Creek girls cross country.
I also want to mention for Bertha-Hewitt, Brady Rock, back-to-back section champions, and Audrey Burnell winning again yesterday as well, as we only get one more Audrey Burnell cross-country race for her high school career. 3-time conference champion, now back-to-back section champions, and looking to change the number on Highway 10 again and go back-to-back at the state meet a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
We talked about her last spring, but that there's a world out there that exists for Audrey to own a 10th of all of the individual champions in Staples-Motley history.
Insane.
There sure is. It's in play. It's totally in play.
Absolutely in play for that. And it's not hyperbolic. A 10th is like literally the math on it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's insane. It's insane. I still can't comprehend. Every time Zeke will tell a stat about it, I just still can't wrap my head around it. The sheer level of dominance, and there have been a lot of great athletes for Staples-Motley that have come through over the years. She might be one of the most, if not the most dominant athlete in the whole record book.
Yeah, it's not one of 10 individual champions.
Yeah, she's got like 9 of the 74 or something like that.
It's in play that number by the end of the year is going to be about 80.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway,
big reason why.
All right, so what's the rest of the section update, Zeke?
8-2A, Perham doing what Perham does. I think we were talking numbers. I think now it's 23 consecutive years at state for the Perham boys, 24 straight for the girls, excluding the COVID year when nobody went. So I think 2002 was the first was when the girls streak started. I think 2003 the boys started going, but
basically millennia.
Yeah, basically CJ's entire life, the Perham Yellow Jackets have been at the state cross country.
Y2K. Since Y2K, Perham Yellow Jackets are the state tournament.
Essentially, yeah. You look at some of the numbers here. Connor Maleka, sophomore, he's your individual champion for Detroit Lakes. He's the best runner that DL's had in a very, very, very long time. Talking to some DL runners last week, I ran into some guys at the Detroit Lakes Pizza Ranch, oddly enough, and they're talking about how, this is the best team that they put together in a very long time. They've got Connor Maleka leading it. They came in 5th place in a very tough Section 8-2A. Talking to one of the Laker girls runners, she would have made state in every other section except 8-2A, and she missed it by a couple spots. So you got Perham in there, you've got Ricori in there. It's Perham for both of them. Wilmer for the boys was the runner-up, and Ricori for the girls was the runner-up. So 8-2A, another very competitive section for second place, because the way that Perham's been going, out of nowhere yesterday, it was 8th grader Tilly Matthias was the first runner in for the Jackets. Runner-up spot. Beat Gracie Morris. She beat Juliana. She beat all those runners for second place, and almost beat Cassie Wellman of Fergus Falls. It was only 6 seconds off the section championship as an 8th grader for Tilly Matthias. So that was another good one yesterday. And in Section 8-3A, one that I think people should be talking about more, we were talking about how awesome Section 6A is and how competitive those top 3 teams are going to be. You look at the race in 8-3A, we knew it was going to come down likely to a combination of Bemidji, Brainerd, Alexandria, St. Michael, Albertville. And they were all in the top 4 for the boys. But the way things panned out for the boys race, I've not seen a race this close in a very long time. Bemidji gets to state for the boys for the first time since like 1974 is, I think, the number that I saw. Wow. It's been a long time for the Lumberjack boys. They have 74 points yesterday. Alexandria has 77 points yesterday, so 3 points off the section championship. Brainerd finishes in 3rd place with 78 points, and it came down to the depth of both of these teams. The 5th runner for Alexandria beat the 5th runner for Brainerd by less than half a second yesterday. Where if those guys are switched, it's Brainerd with the 77 and Alexandria with the 78. And so it comes down to depth. I think the Cardinal runners were packed in like 34 seconds from their first guy in to their 5th guy in, and they needed all of those 34 seconds. And now in their first season as a 3A program, the girls won too. So just like Wadena-Deer Creek, Alexandria sending both the boys and girls to the Les Bolstad course a week from tomorrow.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's some good races, and there's more races today. Section 8A, you've got Nevis, you've got Park Rapids, you've got United North Central. The girls for UNC looking to get back to state, so that should be another really good race today in Bagley.
Awesome. And Sibley East boys go to the cross country tournament state meet for the first time.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
So look at all of our alma maters doing things.
Yeah, look at all of our alma maters doing things in football this year too.
My team got beat by Jackson. Like they gave up 70 points by halftime during the regular season. I don't know.
Jackson's good. That Roman Voss kid. I hear he's okay at the football game.
I hear he's good.
Yeah, turns out.
He's gonna be a great tight end for the Gophers in 3 years.
He sure is.
Yep.
Nah. All right. Speaking of football, let's talk a little of that. But before we do, we got volleyball matches tonight. Corey, you're going up north to Sebeka for a little Park Region Conference 5A matchup with a trip to the subsection championship game on the line.
Yeah, just very quickly, we'll hit up some of the details here. Sebeka will be the home team, 15-12 overall. They beat Walker Hackensack Akeley in straight sets to start the 5A tournament. Verndale Pirates are 11-16 overall. They beat Long Prairie Gray Eagle 3-1 in the opening round. When these two teams played during the year, it was back at the beginning of the month on October 2nd. Trojans won that. 3-1 was the final. Both of these teams finished at 3-4 in the Park Region Conference standings. And when you look at the section tournament, Verndale, the 3 seed, Sebeka, the 2 seed on the west side of this section 5A tournament. Winner will play in Crosby on the 28th, the late game in Crosby, 7:45 against either Nevis or Bertha-Hewitt. So the 1-4 on the other side of the west subsection. On the east side, very quickly, top-seeded Swanville will play 5-seed Ogilvie. The 3-seed Mille Lacs will play the 2-seed Pine River Bacchus. So they're playing for the right to play in that early game at Crosby Tuesday night next week. So that's 5A volleyball, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first serve tonight on 105.9 FM, the Superstation K-106, your Superstation K-106 app, and WadenaRadio.com.
Yeah, and I have a little Section 8 AA playoff volleyball tonight. It's Wadena-Deer Creek versus Roseau in Roseau, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first serve on 101.7 FM and AM920 KWAD. Also streaming online at WadenaRadio.com/KWAD. 3-seeded Rams taking on the 6-seeded Wolverines. Roseau is 22-6 on the campaign. They have a QRF of 116.1. And if you want to chalk that up to kind of how it ranks with some other teams across the state, their QRF has them ranked 29th overall in AA, whereas the Wadena-Deer Creek Wolverines have a 107.1 QRF, or it might have gone up, a 109.1 QRF, which is 42nd in all of Class AA. So these are two teams that, while they're not completely right next to each other in terms of QRF and things like that, these still should be pretty two teams that are pretty close together in terms of competency. Wadena-Deer Creek 17-11 on the year. For Roseau, their head coach is Becky Hayden. Wadena-Deer Creek has Courtney Toomberg. For the Rams, they were 7-2 in section play this year. They were 5-0 in their conference, which is way up north there with Warroad and some of those other teams. They were 7-1 at home, 7-1 on the road, 8-4 in neutral site games. The Wolverines were 5-3 in Section 8 AA play, 7-0 in the Park Region Conference, where they're 4-time defending champions. They're 5-1 on the home floor, 5-8 on the roads, 5-8 in neutral site games, 7-2 on the road. For Wadena-Deer Creek, of course, led by Peyton Gravel. She's at 82 kills over her last 5 games. Pretty darn good. Their service line has been really well. They have a balanced attack, and it's going to be fun to go see that Roseau squad and see what they can do. It's always tough when you play some of those teams way up north. Yeah, there's some like opponents. Yeah, there's some section opponents that are thrown in there. But really, I talked to head coach Courtney Toomberg on Wednesday night. Like, do you know much about Roseau? What's kind of the thing? And she said, we saw him play like at a scrimmage way early in the season, but outside of that and finding a couple like opponents, really don't have much on him. So it'll be fascinating to see. It's sometimes tough to gauge when you have a team that's way up north, Yeah,
it's always hard. We talk about it quite a bit, though. Like the QRF it's flawed. We know that. But it's also everybody uses it. It's the same system for everybody. So there is, even though it might not be perfect, it does tell the truth within its own parameters. So this is going to be a nice matchup. I think, CJ. I think you're really in store for as we say around here, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, exactly. Roseau rather got a win over Red Lake in 3 sets in their first matchup, and that's how they got here to this matchup against Wadena-Deer Creek. Some other games going on in Section 8 AA. 1-seeded Holly after the bye, taking on Thief River Falls in Holly tonight at 7. Tonight at 7 in Perham, they host Frazee in the 4-5 matchup. And the 2-seeded DGF coming off the bye, taking on East Grand Forks in DGF. 7 o'clock first serve on all of those. Not quite sure where they're going to go for these teams in the 8 AA semifinal game for all the winners tonight, but it will be Tuesday night. It will be in the same spot, and Moorhead was the location last year, so maybe Moorhead. I know DGF was the host a couple years ago, but maybe Moorhead with their brand new gym is maybe the spot. I don't know. We'll have to kind of see. But there will be 2 games there. If Wadena-Deer Creek wins against Roseau, they would play the late game at 7:45 in that matchup. So there's your volleyball look, and should also mention some other brackets across the region in 6A high school volleyball tonight. We got one local team left in Parker's Prairie, and just to kind of get a check on that monster section, the Panthers are the 2 seed hosting the 7th-seeded Clinton Graceville Beardsley tonight in Parker's at 7 o'clock. 3-seeded Breckenridge takes on West the Central area in the 3-6. Hillcrest Lutheran Academy taking on Lake Park Audubon, coming off the Raiders upset over the Henning Hornets in 4 sets on Wednesday night. That'll be in Fergus Falls at 7. Belgrade Bruton El Rosa, the 1 seed, kind of the favorite in that section. They're hosting Park Christian tonight at 7 o'clock as well. In Section 6 AA, playoff volleyball, Minnewaska area, the 1 seed hosting St. Cloud Cathedral. Sauk Center in the 4-5 matchup. In Sauk Center, taking on Royalton. Albany in the 2-7 hosting Malacca. Pequot Lakes in the 3-6 hosting Foley in that next matchup. Sites to be determined will be at the high seed for the section semifinal games in 6 AA as well. And a lot of stuff happening in these volleyball brackets, but it always goes by so fast. There's a million teams, there's a million games going on, and then after the first round, it gets a little clearer, and after the second round, you're like, oh, like there's only a couple teams left. Like there's only so many people left standing. So here we go for the second round of volleyball action. And by the way, guys, you know where you need to go for all the highlights and the recaps and things like that after, if you want to kind of dissect everything tonight and tomorrow morning, you go to WadenaRadio.com or follow Sports Cow on Facebook.
Moo. Yep.
You sure do.
Sure do. All right. Taking a look at what else is coming up on the broadcast schedule tomorrow. We have a triple header of football action, as Tyler and Zeke were talking about a few moments ago, that there's Staples-Motley versus Holdingford. But tomorrow We get a doubleheader of football action on the Superstation K-106. That's 105.9 FM, streaming online at WadenaRadio.com or the Superstation K-106 mobile app. We have first Parker's Prairie versus Walker Hackensack Akeley, a matchup of two teams that are 8-1 coming in to the section semifinal game in 6A. It's going to be in Parker's Prairie, 1:40 pregame, 2:00 kickoff tomorrow on the Superstation K-106. Parker's Prairie is coming off of a 51-16 win against Nevis on Tuesday night. Lake Park Audubon coming off of, Walker Hackensack Akeley got a win over Lake Park Audubon in Walker, 14-6. In a tight affair, but I think those who kind of have followed along, that Lake Park Audubon team is feisty. They are good, and that section is just very top-heavy. So for them to be a 6th seed, they're probably better than that. But Walker Hackensack Akeley took care of business. They now are going to go and play Parker's Prairie, a team that's looking to three-peat in Section 6A. But for Walker Hackensack Akeley, and I know Zeke knows this too, a couple years ago, that Walker Hackensack Akeley football team, last year even, they went the whole first half of the season without scoring a touchdown.
Sure did.
On offense. And for them to come into this season now and to go 7-1 in the regular season and then to get a playoff win and go to that second round Saturday, talking with Coach Pfeiffer a little bit, it's just been huge for that program. They have 15 seniors on that squad, and they're looking to take advantage of that high-level play.
It's important in those football programs. Another good example, a game you're going to talk about is your second game that you have tomorrow night. But so I won't give too much away. But those are programs that now the seniors have gone through it. They've been there kind of every step of the way. Another extreme example is what is happening at Staples-Motley, right? All of those kids were underclassmen. They kind of went through it. They took their blows. They got knocked around a little bit, but there's always instances where it is helpful to your program to have those kids go through it early. Not every group of kids can handle it. Some can. And it's nice to see that this Walker Hackensack Akeley crew is the seniors are rewarded for really putting in a little extra time and a little extra effort. I think it's fun and probably quite gratifying.
It's been told to me when I did all those football season previews and you talk to coaches and you kind of, it's always fascinating because they all have different opinions on things. They all have, some are laid back, some are intense, some are somewhere in between. But the one thing you hear consistently through a lot of them, football is a senior game. It's a game where the more seniors you have, the more likely you are to be successful. And by contrast, if you only have a couple seniors, you do everything you can for them, but you also know that you're going to put a lot of younger guys in positions that you don't really want to put them in. Some sophomores can handle playing varsity, but they were going to play varsity anyways. There's some sophomores that need time in the JV just to get stronger. I mean, it's the case that we talk about all the time. You have kids who can vote versus kids whose parents need to pick them up and take them home because they can't drive. And just that 4-year age gap is so huge. It's why even in college freshmen versus college seniors are grown men, like compared to kids who are just getting out of high school and just hit puberty. So like there's a lot of things with that, but it's a senior level game and a team, by the way, in Parker's Prairie, a team that also had a double-digit amount of seniors last year and was a big reason why they got top 4 in state. And they still have a good amount of upperclassmen. And they also have some younger kids who are coming up because they've proven that they're ready and they get to come up on their terms and things like that. So overall, a really good football program in Parker's Prairie, a team on the rise in Walker Hackensack Akeley this year. It's going to be a fun ball game. Expecting a big stuff for the Ruckheim boys for Parker's Prairie because those two ripped it up against Nevis, getting 5 combined touchdowns, like 300 plus yards, and most of that happening in the first half. So the thing about Parker's Prairie is that makes them tough to stop is you have Zach and Isaac Ruckheim. You also have Gavin Basil. You have Nolan Basil. Gavin Basil, running back. Nolan Basil, the quarterback. And then you have Xavier Richardson, who comes in as well and can do some jet sweep action running. That's like 5 different people for Parker's Prairie that can get the ball on any given play. And as an opposing defense, just makes it incredibly tough to stop. And not only that for Parker's Prairie, their linemen are big. They got size on that line. And when you have running backs that can do some stuff and linemen that are big, you're probably going to be pretty good.
It's a decent recipe. Be bigger, faster, stronger than the other guy.
Is that all? That's all it takes?
It's only 3 things football programs need. Be bigger, faster, stronger.
That's literally it.
Everything else will fall into place.
Everything else will fall into place. One of their offensive linemen, Zach Kep, 6'8", 285. That help?
Yes.
That helps.
It do.
Other football game going on tomorrow. Geez, this is a loaded show of stuff. We got so much local sports going on. Other football game going on tomorrow night. It's a 5:40 pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff in Bertha. Bertha-Hewitt hosting Ogilvie, second round football in Class 9-man Section 5. These two teams met. As I reach back for my papers here, got like 6 different games worth of game stuff and prep printed off. Looking at Bertha-Hewitt, they're 8-1 on the campaign coming into this matchup, whereas my papers are all over the place here. It doesn't really matter. Looking at this matchup for Bertha-Hewitt, they come in with just 1 loss on the year. Ogilvie as a couple, and Ogilvie, the 3 seed, they took care of Verndale in their first round playoff matchup. Bertha-Hewitt took care of McGregor in their first round matchup. And these two teams played way back at the beginning of the season. Did Bertha-Hewitt and Ogilvie. It was a win in Bertha, 26-14 back on September 5th, but that's week 2. So a long time has passed for both of these teams. Ogilvie's gotten some big wins over the course of their season, including getting a win over Mille Lacs, 46-20, in a win that basically sent Mille Lacs to be the 3 seed, or excuse me, the 3 seed or 4 seed, excuse me, in the section, and have to go to Carleton. So go to Cromwell. There's a lot of things that play in this section. But overall, for Bertha-Hewitt, they've been a team that, as we talk about, they took their lumps, and when their seniors this year were freshmen, they didn't win a game. And for them to grow, stay in the program, that can shatter you. That can make some kids get disinterested in football and not want to play it and not really care about it. Yeah, well, I'll do football, but whatever. We'll be bad. We were bad last year to do whatever. And it's a testament to the coaching staff. It's a testament to Jared Humberg, the head coach, of keeping them engaged, keeping them wanting to go play football and get them in the position they're in to want to go do this. It's going to be a fun atmosphere in Bertha on Saturday night. They have not been this far in the playoffs since 2011, and Jared Humberg was the quarterback of that team.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's done a good job, and I don't have anything more to add because I kind of said it all with the Walker Hackensack Akeley talk. It's gratifying to watch those kids take their lumps and then come through on the other side, put together a pretty dynamic season, and the most dynamic season in a decade and a half for Bertha-Hewitt football. It's exciting for them.
It's exciting. A lot of good things happening in that. And we'll see. Superstation K-106, 5:40 pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff. Just drowning in local sports here over this time, Corey. A lot of things happening. Tennis. There's tennis updates. If you go to Wadena-Radio.com, Superstation K-106 mobile app, and Sports Cow on Facebook, got a lot of movement happening here in the teams that are down in the Twin Cities for that tennis tournament, Corey.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it right now to dive into all of those updates because it's pretty fluid right now. Here we are just midday as we're putting this
together. By the time you listen to some of this, some of the matches have already happened and things like that.
By the end of the day, things will be out. And like CJ mentioned, Sports Cow on Facebook, Wadena-Radio.com. Updates will be there as soon as play kind of concludes for our area athletes.
A lot of stuff happening. Sports Cow, the place to check it out on Facebook, Wadena-Radio.com as well. And that's it for our local sports stuff. We're only 43 minutes into the show.
Yep.
So
good.
Do we have to talk about the Vikings?
It would have been quicker if Zeke would have had his shirt on when we started.
Of course, you wait till he can't even defend himself when he has to leave.
He knows what he did.
He knew exactly. He was planning it the entire time. Honestly, I'd rather talk about that than the Minnesota Vikings game.
Well, I mean,
all the way around, injuries played a part. Definitely Christian Darrisaw goes out. Brian O'Neill was inactive and couldn't go. You're starting your 2 backup tackles again. You're starting your backup center and whatever. Carson Wentz was running for his life. The other thing that's more concerning than the offensive line, though, Corey, I think has to be the defense, because outside of Andrew Van Ginkel being out, and he's an important part of their defense, but outside of that, I mean, Justin Herbert just did whatever he wanted to. Like, as we talked about with Ian Rivers on yesterday's show, the Chargers offensive line is beat up a little bit too, and they had no problem containing the Vikings. And anytime the Vikings blitz, Justin Herbert went, you're blitzing here, I'll throw here, first down. and then Justin Herbert would go right. Everybody would rush upfield. The pocket would be wide open in the middle, and he would just run through for 10, 15 yards. What's more concerning to me, because Carson Wentz is a backup, you're playing with a lot of backup offensive linemen. Offense wasn't good, but what's more concerning to me is the fact that this is a fully healthy Vikings defense, or about as fully healthy as you're going to get. Not everybody's going to be healthy in the regular season in the NFL, and you kind of got dog walked a little bit.
Some of this is, I mean, it's important. It's why I asked the question yesterday, because I think it needs to remain a part of the conversation today. Is Thursday night on the road against a good team, and the Chargers are a good team. I know they've been weird. Ian is a fan of them, so he's not wrong to be like pessimistic. But like Herbert is putting up, like he's an MVP sort of player so far this year, and the things he's doing, he is unbelievably qualified. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It is not, Thursday night football is not always a fair indicator of who your team is. That's just a fact. That is an objective fact. Here's what is also objective. The Vikings defense has been bad all season long, and we've been talking about it all season long. You go back to week 1 against Chicago. Yeah, it was a miracle comeback, but Caleb Williams was 2 passes away from having 2 more touchdowns and about 85 more yards passing, and the Bears winning that game. If he just hits.
They played that game tomorrow, this Sunday. If the Vikings and Bears played, Caleb Williams makes all those throws.
All of them. So the Vikings defense has been bad all season long for reasons that include injuries, for reasons that include the defensive secondary not being good, the defensive line not getting home. Again, some of this is injury worthy. Having Van Ginkel not play is really important in all of this. It's really important for that depth. Having Cashman out really matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. Right now, we can summarize, I think, all of this. CJ, when you have a defense that's underperforming significantly, not marginally, but significantly, you are on a backup quarterback who's got a sketchy and sordid past as far as his ability on the field. You've got a center who's playing right now who is just getting destroyed.
3 weeks ago.
I mean, he's just it's not his fault, by the way. It is not Brandel's fault that he is not good at center. But he's not good at center. Darisaw is out because he played for the first time all season, 65 snaps in the previous week, and they're limiting his sort of participation this year. And on a short week, he was just going to be an automatic out. Is not a good situation. You put all of those pieces together, basic arithmetic. The Vikings are not a good football team right now.
Bad. Like, there's a lot of things. And yeah, I know we talked about it yesterday. Like, hey, if they lose this, if they lose that, I think we assume if they lose, it would have been like it's a 17-24, 17-28 loss where it's like, you fought hard, but the Chargers are just a little better and they got to be the home team and they made a couple more plays than you did. This was a flat out no-show.
But that's, I think, is the difference between playing on Sundays and Thursdays.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. But
this game might be a 24-17 regular sort of game, but because it's Thursday night and all of those things are also wrong for you, it exacerbates and it becomes, and it looks worse maybe than it is. But it's not.
This team did not look like they were ready to play at all.
Weren't.
They looked like a team that had a close loss the week before, was already banged up, got even more banged up, and had no time for anything. Thursday night football into the sun.
The Vikings are not allowed to make excuses for themselves, but that doesn't mean those excuses don't exist.
Right. But it also, injuries happen, and that's true. And I agree with you. I think we're all on the same page on that. I'm just going to push back a little bit and say the Chargers were going through a bunch of injuries too, and they found a way to overcome.
Yeah, but they're home field and they're a good team and they have Justin Herbert.
Right. Yeah, but I'm like, we can't just poo-poo everything. And I'm not saying you are. I'm saying, like, generally speaking, we can't just poo-poo everything. It's like, well, injuries. What are you going to do? Like,
no,
I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying we can't, as a fan base, just let them escape, because their defense in yesterday's game, their defense outside of Van Ginkel is fully healthy. And what game in the NFL are you going to go in where every single one of your members of your defense is fully healthy?
Yeah,
and their defense no showed.
And it's not, but the thing is it's not just injuries. Like, you can't put just injuries in a vacuum. It's injuries to 5 different people on the offensive line and your quarterback, and you finally got one of your running backs back for the first time, and this and that, and it's Thursday, and it's like, it's all of those things. Each one of those things is a point.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're on our backup quarterback. That's a point. You take away a point from yourself or give the other team a point. Like,
it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts kind of a thing.
It is all of those things. So did they not look ready? Yeah, absolutely. They probably didn't. But those are all the reasons why. It's not excuses, but there are reasons, and those reasons are valid. That doesn't mean, though, that I think or other people think they don't suck, because they clearly suck.
Is this the playoffs excluded for obvious reasons? Is this the worst loss of the Kevin O'Connell era, just in vibes, just in terms of kind of like everything? Because it's got to be up there, though.
I am adamant about Thursday night football not counting. It just can't. My Thursday night football games do not count, in my opinion, towards the team. It just cannot be the case when all of those other situations are real. No, man, they lost terribly in the playoffs.
Playoffs excluded is what
I don't pay attention to losses like that. I guess I don't have an answer.
Thing is, they still count, though, in the wins and loss column. They still do count for vibes. This team now is 3-4, and they have a long time to lick some wounds, but things aren't letting up. You got the Detroit Lions coming to town in 10, or you got to go to Detroit in 10 days. You're going to have to host the Ravens. They got some stuff to figure out. And the thing the Vikings were trying to avoid with all of their offseason moves, right? Everything they did was take as much pressure off J.J. McCarthy as possible. And in a way, if the Vikings still view themselves as a playoff contender in the building, all of the pressure is going on. Well, J.J. McCarthy better come and fix everything, because I think the fan base knows now, like, this team ain't making the playoffs. This team ain't doing anything, whatever. But there still is pressure now, like, all right, J.J. McCarthy, you better come in and look competent in this mess, because we got to figure out if you can do it or not.
So I don't, the only thing sure, all of that's true, but let's not get too recency biased on ourselves here either, because all of those other things are true. And you went on the road on a Thursday night to a good team and lost. That cannot be the worst loss when just 8 or 9 games ago, you had the chance to lock up the number 1 seed in the conference, and you laid an egg in Detroit. Like, do you remember that? Do you remember week 17 a year ago?
Yeah.
Not good.
No, it wasn't great either.
So, and that was a team that was fully healthy and ready to roll and had a ton at stake. This team has something at stake, but it was to determine if they're going to have something to play for at the end of the year. Like, it maybe just confirmed what we were afraid to admit, that they're probably not very good.
Yeah.
So it can't be a bad loss when you just confirm that you're not good.
That's what I think might make it the worst, is that it fully puts the dagger in of, like, season's toast.
No, because you care less. I mean, do you care as much? Do you care as much about your team being bad as much as your team, like, they have to go on the road for the playoffs now?
I mean, I just would like my team to be good.
Yes, no, that's fair. That is totally
like my team to be good. At the end of the day, by the way, there's one last thing I want to say, and then we'll move on to talk about Wolves, because we only have about 7 more minutes here. There's a lot of talk about everybody now likes to play the hindsight game because Drake May is ripping it up, and the Vikings really like Drake May and they couldn't get him and all that. And there's this weird thing online where everybody on Twitter, where everybody keeps going, oh, Josh Dobbs won those 2 games in 2023 and we couldn't get Drake May. Shut up. I hate that. Everybody goes back. Will you stop? Enough. Quit. I hate this. We're Vikings fans. We love to win. But if we're not going to win the playoffs, we better tank because we better get the highest draft pick. And I'm going to complain that we won games and, like, stop. There are Vikings fans that still whine that the Vikings won a meaningless game in Washington in 2011 and it didn't get them Andrew Luck. I would have loved Andrew Luck. The Vikings would have done a lot with him. But, like, you can't, like, that's a fun what if. But then it also goes to the New England Patriots only won 4 games in 2023. The Minnesota Vikings won 4 games in the game Kirk Cousins ruptured his Achilles. They were already going to have a worse draft pick at that point. You weren't skipping the Patriots. Oh, the Vikings could have had better ammo to trade up. New England, the Vikings tried. They traded for an extra first-round pick to trade up. And New England said, no, we have a potential franchise quarterback. We're just going to take him. Like, we don't want extra capital. We want a franchise quarterback. So all of this pretend if the Josh Dobbs ruined us getting Drake May, like, no, stop.
So, and the one addition to that I agree with you completely is, this team has JJ McCarthy, and there's a lot of conspiracy theory speculation on, are they protecting him? Are they whatever? And yeah, probably they are, but I don't think they're protecting him mentally. They are protecting a guy who needs to learn how to play in the NFL still. And one of the, like when we talk about the Twins, we talk about how everything needs to come from the umbrella of the ownership stinks. The umbrella here for the Vikings this season is that this season was always going to depend on how JJ McCarthy figured things out. And even if he didn't by the end of the season, it didn't mean that it wasn't going to work out. Like, we have to remember this also. Like, JJ McCarthy isn't playing not because they don't trust him. It's because he's going to die, because he is learning, and the best opportunity to learn, they can't provide for him right now. They just can't. That being said, he's going to start at Detroit. He has.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin O'Connell said he's going to start if he's healthy, which I think was always the plan all along. But yeah, I mean, he's got the fast track. So, all right, Vikings, bad. Wolves, back. So that's a good thing to remember. They play the Lakers tonight, another late tip-off because it's in LA, except this time it's on Prime.
Let's go. Wait, on just Prime? It's on Prime?
Amazon Prime.
All right. Well, it looks like I won't be watching. Congratulations to them.
They got the big graphic. Where to watch. Amazon Prime subscription is what you need.
Congrats to them. Go.
On the call or something.
Okay, cool.
They play the Lakers. We'll see what they can do. We'll see. The Lakers are toast, as what I've heard from people who know ball. So we'll see how they go tonight.
I wish them nothing but the worst.
Well,
you took the franchise and took all the championships with you. That's not how it should work. Screw you.
Yep. By the way, gambling scandal. One of the guys used LeBron, which I know he's not in any of it at all, but of course it had to implicate him. He's really trying to do everything Jordan did, huh?
What was the joke? I wish the NBA would handle gambling scandals like they used to and just send those guys to minor league baseball for 2 years.
You go deal with it over there. Don't just go away for a little bit. Let it be okay.
I'll say Wolves by 9.
Sure. I'll go Wolves by 10 just to one up you.
Okay.
All right. Morning Sports Desk. We're out of here.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.